Page 88, The King's Court. This is a new chapter in the book. They just did some reviews of the previous pages, so please go through those and make sure you understand that. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask. The answers are in the back of the book. But it's important you understand everything we've covered so far, because we're just adding more. If you look at this stuff on pages 88 and 89, it's like, yuck, what is going on? Yeah, well, we'll look at it and we'll examine it and we'll understand it eventually. On this page 88, they're introducing you to another symbol that you need to know forever and ever and ever from now on, and that is called an eighth rest. We've had quarter rest and half rest and whole rest and those. Now we get an eighth rest. And they show what it looks like. It's a little, it got a stem and there's a little flag. Well, an eighth note has one flag, so an eighth rest has one flag. But if you're hand drawing these, make sure that flag goes off to the left, because music notation has evolved over time. And 100 years ago, they had another symbol they used to use where it looked like an eighth rest, except the flag went off to the right. And that is the old symbol for a quarter rest. We don't use that anymore. Now we use the squiggly diving bird thing. So just be sure if you're hand drawing it, that flag goes off to the left. If you happen to be reading music that was published 100 years ago or so, you may run into the old quarter rest symbols. So you understand those are quarter rests, not eighth rests. And it gets the same amount of counting or time as an eighth note, except you're quiet. It makes the music look really busy. When you look at King's Court, look at that right hand, you got all this stuff going on. Well, they're just eighth note, eighth rest. Okay. It's almost like you could take a quarter note and put a staccato on there and just play a long staccato. Almost the same. Not quite, but almost. Counting wise, it's counted just like an eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay. Well, let's look this over then on King's Court. It's 4 lines long, but it has a DC affine, so it's really 6 lines long. Treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale, blah, blah, blah. You've heard this all along. The scales are important because you can practice your technique stuff and you're learning to go over the thumb and so forth. So when you get the stuff in the music, you just do it. 4/4 time, so we've had all that. Let's take the right hand first. Make sure we get the notes and the rhythms okay. So you're starting here. And there's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. See, I'm resting on and. That's all. 1 and 2 and. 3 and 4 and. 1 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2. Oh boy. And. Okay. Third line. You have a quarter rest and an eighth rest. So it's 1 and 2 and. You come in on the and of 2. And you're in this position now for like a C chord. Here, not here, it's here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See, there's no eighth rest between the first 2 eighth notes. So those are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's basically the rhythm. It's pretty repetitious. In the left hand, well, simple enough. It's whole notes here. It's first, then a D by itself, and then an F sharp, and then a G. Okay. Third line down, 1 and 2, 1 and it's a C chord, a broken C chord, 1 and 2. Then you rest for the rest of the measure, and then a G chord, 1 and 2 and 3, and then a D7. Okay. Put the hands together. So it's here at the beginning, 2 and. It helps to have whole notes in the left hand. It's just rest, rest, rest. Okay. Third line down. They're all eighth notes here. 1 and 2 and 3. See, it's eighth notes all the way through until you get to the rest there. And 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and. Get the idea? Last line, last measure, that ugly thing, well, it's a D7 chord. Once you recognize these chords in the music, you're not really looking at individual notes, you just see the chord and you play it. It's a D7 chord. I've done those before. So you work it out and get rid of the hesitations, and then you can think about the articulation. The slurs connect, lift up before you go on. And the third line, you get slurs and staccato. Just boom, boom. So you add the articulation. When you're sort of comfortable with that, then think about the dynamics. Goes to the melody, which the first two lines is in the right hand. So this is loud. This is in the background. Keep it sort of moderately soft. And the third line down, you come down to moderately loud, and it's both hands. There's no real melody here. It's all just broken chords. It needs to sound like one hand played all of it, though. So don't play them different. They've got to be the same here. And then the last line, you got on moderately soft. Whatever you think moderately soft is for mezzo piano. Don't slow down, just get softer. Now the DC al fine sends you back to the beginning. DC means go to the beginning. The fine is at the end of the second line, so you just go back and play the first two lines again. So if you're looking at form of music, you got sections. The first two lines are a section, and the last two lines are a section. We label the sections with letters, A, B, C, D, whatever. So the first section is A, and then the second section would be B. So the first two lines would be section A, and the second two lines, or the last two lines would be section B. And then when we go back to the beginning, we're doing section A again. So the overall form of this piece is an ABA form. They'll get into analyzing the music like this a little later. I'm just giving you a little heads up on it. I mean, you can handle it, right? Anyway, back to earth now. Tempo, a march. Left, right, left, right. Whatever you think a left-right march feels like, that's good enough. Let's play this together slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll do the staccatos and that stuff, and we will do the DC al fine part too, so I'll give us 4 counts. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 to the top.